Alright, hello everybody, Reiko-san here, ready to go over a set list for you guys. Haven't talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! In a while, so I figured it's about time that we kick back. Let's take it back to the original stuff that we did on the channel, and let's talk about some Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff for a second. So, Amazing Defenders is coming out on the cusp of my birthday, January 20th. For us here, we're getting the rescue stuff, we're getting the purely stuff, and we're getting the Makanko stuff. So let's kind of talk about the set. Let's see how the set is doing. Let's see if it is worth it. And the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is, do I think you guys should buy packs of this? If you want to, you can, but I definitely recommend you guys buy singles instead. I definitely think that this set will not pan out as well as something like Tactical Masters, something like Grand Creators, where the main archetype carries the set. I don't think that this will be something along those lines here. We're going to talk about the Rescue Ace, and we're going to talk about everything here for a second. So let's first go over the set list. Let's first go over what's here, what you guys want to be going for. If I was somebody pulling for Amazing Defenders, I would probably tell you that the Makanko is the best archetype to go for here. There's a lot of synergy here with the Libromancers. There's a lot of good ritual support already. I feel like setting up and getting that Makanko stuff may be the best option. The purely stuff may look good. Same thing here for the Rescue Ace. It may look good. But I feel like for the long term, I feel like Makanko is the way to go. But we're going to go over everything. We're going to go over the set, Ultras, Supers, all that. So, looking at the Ultra Rare slot, we got Hydrant here, we have Rescue, we have Alert, the original, just base set purely, nothing else added to it, just purely itself is an Ultra Rare. We do have Pretty Memory as an Ultra Rare. We also have Makanko Water. I don't even know how you say that. Aberresque. That might be the right way to say it. If it isn't, let me know. But it looks like Makanko doesn't have a lot of Ultra Rares that are taking up the slot. I do automatically think that that makes it just a wee bit better. I don't think that it makes the set truly worth it, but I do think, once again, I'm going to repeat this over and over again throughout this video, Makanko has been splashed in with Libromancers. It's been doing decent stuff. I do think that it is worth it to grab the Makanko stuff while you can, while it is still relatively cheap. While the prices aren't too bad, I do think you guys should grab this archetype, pick it up, just in case you guys want to do something with Libromancers. You want to test out the waters, you want to see what it can do. I do think Makanko is the way to go. Now, looking at the rest of the set, purely, I really don't think will be that impactful in the meta. It is a decent concept. There is a decent setup, you know, doing this sort of rank up to the next level, so to speak, built in within the archetype is decent. Same thing with Rescue Ace here. You have a lot of good quick play spells and traps that Turbulence, because I want to bring up Turbulence here for a second just so you guys can see it. During your main phase, you can set up to 4 Rescue Ace quick play spells or normal traps directly from the deck. That is very strong. However, the Rescue Ace archetype itself does not seem to have a lot of backing that will really make this a viable archetype. I may be wrong, you know what I mean? I'm just looking at this from the outside in for right now. But looking at what the OCG has done, looking at some of the text, looking at what they are actually trying to do with all of these decks, it looks like to me, because I am interested in the Libromancer archetype, I do think that it is a decent archetype, but with the Makanko stuff splashed in there, I do think it gives both Mikanko and Libromancer a chance to actually function in this meta. I'm not going to say that's going to be the end all be all, because let's be real for a second, with Tier Element running around, we are coming up on the advent of Kshatriya being the best deck of the format. Who knows if the TCG will hit certain stuff in Tier Element. For example, Paralino, the field spell, they could hit that. They could hit stuff like Sheeran, Havanis. In any case, I do think that the most potential out of this set that will be meta relevant, that will be meta viable, things that players will want to go pick up and test out, I do think that Mikanko carries what at least some rogue players, some meta players may want to play, right? So overall, really, I'm not even mad at the in archetype rarities, because it's a deck builder set. They're going to prioritize the deck builder archetypes. For example, we look at Grand Creators, we look at Adventure, we look at something like, see, this is before we had the rare and ultra rare to super rare setup, but Hidden Summoners, you know what I mean? We look at something like those sorts of sets. They carry value, they carry decent viability in these sets, but the main thing I want to look at here not only is just the main set stuff, what are we getting reprint rise? What are we getting that will be, okay, this is well needed, we need a reprint of X, Y, or Z. What do we have here? Well, Renaud gets his first reprint since Toon Chaos. Amazing. I'm very happy to see this get a reprint. Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, once again, another card that needed a reprint. We finally got it. This is good. However, you know what? Before we even go into the bad stuff, let's even look at Isolde, Two Tails of the Noble Knights. Even though it gets a super rare slot in Amazing Defenders, I do feel like it is a viable and reliable reprint. We haven't seen Isolde really get printed like that so that TCG players can get quick access to it. We've seen that the ultra rares have started to go up in value. We've seen that the original, if I'm correct, it's Soul Fusion. If I am not correct, please correct me in the comments, but if I'm correct, it is Soul Fusion, where they got the super rare originally. Now, in Amazing Defenders, we're getting another super rare reprint. This is good. We're getting to a good setup for a good set. However, let's look at some of the other reprints in the set that may not be as strong, the rares in particular. So at first, you're going to see stuff like Reinforcement of the Army. You really could argue that we always need a reprint for this card. Same thing with 1-for-1. 1-for-1, we have seen level 1s become relevant in the meta before. Maybe now we can see them get relevant again. I'm not going to say that it's going to be through something like Mikanko or Rescue Ace or Purely or things like that. But 1-for-1 in general is a decent card that you can reprint and get those copies out to players that may not have it. Now we look at the rest of the set. You have stuff like Armed Protector Dragon. Who's playing that? We have stuff like, let's see, what else here? Sprite's Blessing. Who is playing that? Sacred Scrolls of the Gizmic Legend. Who is playing that? Now there are decent rares aside from stuff like 1-for-1, which is a super rare. We have stuff like Reinforcement of the Army, which is a rare. Hell, I'll even give credit to Exceed's Import. A very decent card. I'm actually going to pull it up here as well. Targeting Exceed's monster you control. One monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to it, and attach it to your Exceed's monster as material. Very decent card. I do feel like it is viable, but not in this meta. I want to make sure I'm emphasizing that because this is a set that is coming out during the reign of something like Tier Element, something like, you know, Fluanderies, and even going down, you have stuff like Overlay Region. Who is playing that? You have stuff like dare I say, like, Gizmeck. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually very hyped that we're getting Gizmeck in a collector's rare, because for a long time it was a very viable card. Most certainly. However, and I have to bring this up. However, you have something like these cards coming out. Sprite's Blessing, Overlay Region. Hell, we could even throw Preparation of Rites in there. These cards are decent, but they are not meta defining. They are not game breaking. It's just reprints of stuff just to make sure that players have these cards available. While I am not mad at Konami for trying to get some of these probably more difficult cards reprinted, while I'm not mad at Konami for making sure that these staple one-of cards that are limited on the ban list, mind you, but I'm not mad at them for trying to get these out to players, I do feel like the quality of the set could go up. I've talked with people in my group chat. I've seen comments in my group chat for Yu-Gi-Oh! Telling me that the set is just not there. The Makanko, the Rescue Waste, the Purely, we're not seeing the OCG fully maximize on what Amazing Defenders has in store for us. It's because Tier Element, Sprite, Fluanderees, we can even look at new hand traps such as the Bestials. These cards are incredibly powerful. These cards are cards that you want to get, cards that will affect the metagame, affect how your, how your plays may go. I think that while the actual new printings of cards, once again, Rescue Ace, Purely, Makanko, they are decent rarity, I do feel like the quality of the reprints could be better. Like, I'm not mad at Assault, I'm not mad at Immortal Fiend Gearfried, I'm not even mad at 1-for-1 and Infernoble Knight Renaud. What I'm really looking at is stuff like Sprite's Blessing. I'm looking at slots like Sacred Scrolls of the Gizmeck Legend. I'm looking at slots like, what? Do I even say Piri Ray's map? Because Piri Ray's map came up in the Battle of the Legends, if I'm correct, Brothers of Legend? This is a very finicky card. Battles of Legends, Brothers of Legends, whatever you want to call it, these of Legends sets carry secret rares that could very well carry value in the long term. But do I think that as a reprint it is worth it? Absolutely not. I do think that the set has some potential. I'm not going to downplay it and say that the set doesn't carry any sort of viability. I'm not going to say that the set, at least further on down the line, maybe after tier elements get hit, maybe after the metagame finally cools down and we reach a point where we can comfortably play these cards, I don't feel like they will be as impactful as they should be. This isn't an adventure package sort of set. This isn't a Lyrilusk sort of buff. This is simply, look, we're giving you the new archetype. Here's some little crappy reprints. Well, I can't say crappy. Here's some subpar reprints for you guys to be held over on. Honestly, if I were to tell you guys if you should buy these packs or not, and I'm going to go in depth about this, if you guys should buy these packs, the answer is going to be no. Do not buy these packs unless you want to have that thrill of opening up packs. You want to have that nostalgia. Maybe I'll get an ultra rare, maybe I'll get a super rare, something along those lines. If you're doing that, I'm not mad at it. That is perfectly fine. Definitely get your nostalgia in. Do what you want to do. But if I were telling the average metagame player, hey, do you want to buy this set? My answer to them will be no. Straight up. Rescue Ace is not meta. Purely is not meta. Maybe if they do some funky stuff with some fairy decks and Purely just somehow manages to get thrown in there, okay, sure. Makanko really is the only archetype that gives me some sort of hope that there is a meta viable archetype out of this set. I really don't feel like the reprints are worth the money that you're paying for this, because packs are $4.49 for the TCG. If you're living in Canada, if you're living in Europe, if you're living in America, if you're living in these TCG based areas, I do not feel like it is worth it to spend your money on a set like this. Grab yourself singles from TCG Player. If Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily has pre-sales, grab yourself those pre-sales and save yourself some money. It really is not worth it to buy a box. Not unless you're really after these collector's rares. And even then, let's look at it. Hydrant, Turbulence, Purely itself, a Purely Happiness, a Purely Noir. Hell, even my friend Purely. Makanko has what? 1, 2, 3, right? So, out of a viable set, you can get viable collector's rares. Is it worth it? No. Definitely do not think it is worth it under any circumstance. That's just a quick review of Amazing Defenders. I wanted to get this out just so that I can let players know, do not spend your money on the packs. Get yourself singles. Singles will pan out way better, and singles will save you a lot of money, where you can buy a box and not pull an ultra rare Makanko here. Oh, that's the wrong picture. Hold up. Let's say you can't get the... Oh, they're all super rare too. Holy crap. Let's say you can't get something like Abresk or something like that. Buying the singles alleviates that pain so that you're not wasting money on this product. Overall, I do feel like Amazing Defenders is an okay set, but not for sealed open product. Just get the singles, save yourself some trouble, and you will be fine. That's it. That's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. To all Yu-Gi players out there, do not spend your money on TCG Amazing Defenders. Get you those singles. Get you those single Makankos. If you want Rescue Ace, buy yourself a core. Same thing with Purely. Get yourself a core instead of going for the pack. The pack doesn't feel like it will warrant any value that a player in the TCG, especially in the meta, will warrant. Okay? That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this quick video. I appreciate all of the support. As always, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You can subscribe if you want. You can like if you want. You can comment if you want to. I appreciate the fact that you guys came here and actually watched the video. Alright? So, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. I will catch you all in the next video. Deuces! And like I said, please don't buy Amazing Defenders packs. Just buy the singles. Trust me. Okay, I'm out. Deuces.